Welcome back to the weekly review. I am your host, Jacques Slade, and there was a ton of sneaker-related news this week, which I am sure you are fully aware of. So let's not waste any time and get right to it.
My kick's on fire.
This is the third week in a row where we feature an Air Jordan 7 on the countdown, but this time it's for the ladies. The upper mixes white leather overlays on top of neutral gray nubuck. Add mineral blue and violet, and this gives the shoe a dramatic boost, making this March release perfect for the springtime. Add in the mineral blue tongue, and I think we've got a pickup for some of our female sneakerheads. And I bet Sol DeVita will let me know in the comments. With that said, let's move on to number 4. Over the weekend, London's Foot Patrol managed to get their hands on a limited supply of the Air Force One country packs from the World Basketball Festival back in August. Now, this was a limited supply type of event, so we're not sure if there's any left, but the set does include special makeups for the countries involved in the celebration, which were the USA, France, China, Brazil, and Puerto Rico. Either way it goes, it's definitely worth your time to stop by and take a look. I'll make sure I put a link down in the description for you. With that said, let's move on to number 3. Of course, one of the biggest things to come out of last week was the introduction of the Air Jordan 2011. Co-designed by Tinker Hatfield and Tom Luckey, the model embodies what we expect from Jordan Brand in 2011. Now, it comes in 5 colorways and also contains 2 midsoles that vary based on your style of play. I actually did a full video that details the Air Jordan 2011, and you can read about it, or watch it rather, by clicking this box right here below. So, for those that stick around, let's move on to number 2. The Air Jordan 3 Retro is looking to make 2011 its year, and it's only been released in 1 colorway so far. Well, since we love to talk about our sneakers, we decided to pit the Air Jordan 3 Retro White Cement versus the Air Jordan 3 Retro Black Cement in a little bit of a head-to-head competition. Now, we know which one we would pick, however, we wanted to hear from you on which one you would pick if you could only get one. So if you haven't already, I put a link down in the description for the post where you need to go and vote on which one you would pick up if you could only pick up one. The Air Jordan Retro 3 in white cement or the Air Jordan Retro 3 in black cement. And just so you know, the one that I can't? Are you serious? You think it's really going to influence the voting? Alright. No. Sorry. Well, let's move on to number 1. See, they messed me up. Let's move on to number 1. At number 1, we have something really special. It's so special, in fact, that we don't even know if the shoe will ever actually release. Nick over at Soul Collector tweeted an image of this beauty, which is a Nike Total Lunar Foamposite. The model uses gray foamposite on the upper just below a pitch black lace plate and sits above a Nike Blue Lunar midsole. As we said before, we don't know if these are ever going to release. According to Nick, these are just a concept in his size, which is a little disappointing, but I guess that's how the ball bounces. So that is number 1. Now moving on to my personal pick. Last week I asked you guys if you had ever done number 2 on your sneakers based on the Kicks on Fire Ways You Know You're a Sneakerhead Part 2. I am glad to report back that most of you had not ever licked your sneakers. Though one person, though UWF 1995 said, I have licked the bottom of my shoes every time they're fresh out of the box and sometimes just sit there and reminisce on the taste. Well, UWF 1995, I think that this officially makes you a sneakerhead. If anybody tells you any different, they are lying to you. Well, thanks again for joining the weekly review. I am your host, Jacques Slade. If you enjoyed these videos, I ask that you subscribe. That way you will be notified right away whenever we post a new video. If Twitter and Facebook is your thing, there are links down there in the description where you can find me and or Kicks on Fire. And with that said, I appreciate you guys watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week on the weekly review. Peace.